Today is December 3rd, and Juan Soto rumors are here. Big ones, interesting ones. We're going to talk all about the latest Juan Soto to the Yankees trade rumors. Let's do it.
Talking Yanks with old John Boy Jake. Recaps galore, weekly awards, stat lines, steaming hot takes. Get your Yankees news from these two fine dudes. It's time for Talkin' Yanks. Talking Yanks with old John Boy Jake.
Hello and welcome to Talkin' Yanks. My name is Jimmy. His name is David. Jake is on vacation. I was on vacation last week. Jake's on vacation this week. It's Talkin' Yanks. It's brought to you by SeatGeek. Code Yanks is going to help you out over there. I'm excited to sit down and chat. Beeb said, let's get on mic because I'm finally back from Disney World, and BBD is at winter meetings. Just checked in, got himself a table there with Jolly Olive. So tune into their socials, all of our socials, for coverage live from winter meetings. I think Jolly's going to be on Baseball Today over on the JM Baseball YouTube channel, maybe some Talkin' Baseball apps, and then tons of social videos covering it from winter meetings in Nashville, Beebs? Nashville,
yeah, we're
correct?
in Nashville. We are in Nashville, at the place. I came here once when I was 18, and I couldn't go out or do adult things that Nashville's known for. So I'm excited to be here as a grown up. Excited to be here in general. We're in a kind of cool corner area where people tend to walk by accident. A lot of people said hi already, which is nice.
Yeah, I love it. I was planning on going with you guys. I think we almost had tickets for me, and then there was
I have your credential.
Yeah, I just got done with vacation, and I have a ton to do. The week after vacation is I got to tackle a million projects because I just left for a week and leaving again so it was tough. But I'm excited. I'm very excited about these Juan Soto rumors, and we'll get right into it for everyone. I'm gonna just let you know what's been reported by who, what everyone is saying, and then me and Beebs will take the rumors at face value and discuss and give you our thoughts and opinions on if these were true or if this was to happen, what we would think. And then at the end, I'm gonna play a little, reporter detective and try to get in the weeds of why these rumors, do we believe them? What do they mean? Why are they coming out? All that fun stuff. So, but first, I'm using an article from MLBTradeRumors.com by Dara McDonald. Nice Irish name. Thought it was Scottish at first, but I think the Scots have the MAC, Mac, not the Mick.
So.
Donald, I no idea if that's true. Anyway, he summed it up a lot because there's a lot of different reporters reporting on this situation, which is of note to me for section 3 of the show, but we're in section 1. And it says here, the Yankees are known to have an interest in Padres outfielder Juan Soto, but it doesn't seem as though a trade is close to coming to fruition. Per reports from, ready? Ken Rosenthal, Dennis Lynn, Brendan Cuddy, John Heyman, and Andy Martino. That's everyone that reported on this rumored, the happenings of this trade. And per all of them, talks have stalled with a noticeable gap between the two clubs. Now, John Heyman says that at least 9 clubs have checked in. There's a huge asterisk there in section 3. Which I'll just say right now, Heyman is very much, him and Boris, Scott Boris are friends. He gets a lot of his stuff usually from Scott Boris. Soto's a Scott Boris client, and Scott Boris clients always have at least 8 or 9 teams interested, according to Heyman. Even though this is a trade and not free agency, it's still in Boris's best interest to be 9 teams would want him.
Yeah.
So while the report from The Athletic says the Blue Jays are involved. All right. So all reports indicate that the Padres are asking for a multiplayer return, with Martino reporting that they are asking for Michael King, Drew Thorpe, and 4 or 5 other prospects, such as Randy Vasquez and Johnny Brito, as well as salary relief for Soto. Now, none of that right there was that surprising to me. It seems like that should be what they would ask for. And what was surprising was Trent Grisham. because
That's
now
been the
he's a
fun
center.
wrinkle of the last 48 hours or so.
Yeah, that is a fun wrinkle. So all the reports, or this report from Andy Martino, said that none of Jason Dominguez, Anthony Volpe, Gleyber Torres, Austin Wells, Everson Pereira are involved. And then the report from The Athletic says Clark Schmidt is a target.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when we drew up our trade here on this show, Beebs, we had Cronenworth coming over and the Padres eating some of that money because
Yeah.
we were literally making a match for match prospect ranking, dollar figure, talent with the Mookie Betts trade, as Cronenworth was Price from a money standpoint, and Mookie was Soto. And we had Clark Schmidt and Thorpe
Mm-hmm.
and tons of money going, right? And
Yes.
the catcher.
It seems like, yeah, we were giving Higgy as this guy can be on your team right now. Also nice to do for Higgy as a Southern California guy. But the guts of the trade, I'm actually kind of proud of us. We were pretty close.
Yeah.
Guts of a return there.
So that's why I'm not surprised that they're asking for Clark Schmidt, Drew Thorpe, and then others.
Yeah, it seems like I'm getting, I guess, a little section 2 or section 3E, but it feels like they know the Yankees are going to give him at least one guy who like has MLB experience in a rotation, and that's King or Clark. Right now, they're asking for both for leverage and all that, and then one of their top prospects. And it seems like everybody's okay with that being Thorpe. But it seems like their top choice would be Thorpe, and it feels like the Yankees are fighting with them to not also give them their top choice of MLB guy, which seems to be King and not Clark.
Okay, I like that interpretation. Yeah, so we're into section 2 now. If this is all real and this is what's happening, well, it makes sense, in my opinion, that they would want one of King or Clark, and then Drew Thorpe.
Top three pitcher and then a big prospect.
They want MLB ready pitching, quadruple A pitching. They need arms.
Mm-hmm.
And so that makes a lot of sense to me. I also can see the Yankees balking at giving 4 pitchers up with Randy Vasquez and Johnny Brito. You know,
yeah, they want even just one of those guys that it seems like you're trading 3 guys who, assuming you're in the high, you're one of the people high on Thorpe, which I would say I generally am from what I read about him. Seems like he pitches well, like a cerebral guy. But
nothing against Thorpe, but pitching prospects don't pan out.
It seems
you know, to the level of what would stop this trade.
Right. It of their 3 like top pitching prospects, he seems to be consensus the best one by people who pretend they know for sure about any of it.
Yes. But if you go down the list of Yankees pitching prospects and you go Davy Garcia, Justice Sheffield, Chance Adams, Clark Schmidt was once one of these guys. I mean, there's some others that I'm blanking on right now.
Yeah, and pitching like apparently fragile and all that.
Yeah, so I have no problem including Drew Thorpe.
Oh.
I have no problem including Clark Schmidt. King would hurt me because I mean I like Clark too, but I really like King as a dude, and I like that he's multi-weaponed, and I just feel like he's got a nice motion about him and like more versatile.
Yeah, King. I like went on a Padres show last week, and we were talking about different packages the Yankees could get, and he was asking me to like explain the difference between King and Clark. And at the time, I didn't realize Clark has 4 years left, which is another interesting part of the conversation. He's a super 2. But King, he's the guy you know, even if starting doesn't work out, which seems like he's poised to have a good year as a starter, he will perform for you very well in one of those 2 roles. Where Clark seems like he probably is a guy you can rely on for the regular season. Just haven't really gotten to test him in more than that. But it's how the Padres are valuing those 2 guys, because they seem like they really want King more based on this reporting.
I would too.
I think I would too, but years of control are interesting.
The Randy Vasquez, Johnny Brito, Luis Gil, these guys, the Yanks can't give up too many of them. They're going to rely on pitchers. Like that's our if you give up one of Clark King, okay, Thorpe, Brito, Vasquez, that's our 7, 6, fourth through seventh starter,
Ish, right? That's yeah,
or fifth through seventh starter, three
yeah,
of them.
maybe a little deeper than that if you're getting Thorpe in the mix. He's the guy who's like end
Yeah, yeah,
year
fifth
right
through
now.
seventh,
Yeah,
or fifth through eighth.
yeah. Between King Clark, Rito, Vasquez, he'll like 5 to 8 are in that group.
Because the other guys in contention are Yoendris Gomez,
Yeah, Domingo's
Luis
out.
Heel, and Clayton Beater.
Yeah,
And I think all those guys, since they already have started their service time, like Clayton Beater hasn't, Heel has, it would be, right now, the rotation as we know it, and we're hoping we get some more guys here. The rotation is Cole, Rodon, King, or Cole, Rodon, Nestor, King, Clark. So if it's Clark, after him, if Clark's the 5, after him, you probably have Brito, Vasquez, Heel, depending on what they want, and Thorpe as the next 4. And you'd be trading 4 of those 5 from the 5 through 9. So like it just kills the Yankees' depth. So I don't think they want to do that
yeah, they can't
for
do all of those guys.
yeah.
You just
Now I'm fine giving up Clark, Thorpe, and then other dudes.
yeah,
Like one of those pitchers and
yeah. You're
another
like
prospect.
your choice of Heel, Burrito, and Vasquez. Pick one.
Yeah. But you can't completely kill your depth there. And then the Trent Grisham aspect is interesting. He is basically not, and I don't know, some people might disagree. He's very Hicks-esque,
Mm-hmm.
like young 2017, 2018 Aaron Hicks. He plays a good, his arm stinks, but he plays a really good center field. And his approach at the plate, if you talk to Padres fans, is like he just doesn't swing. Like he's got the most strikeouts looking. He doesn't walk that much, but he's got a decent walk rate.
Looks like
He's had a couple
did
good
walk a
years.
lot, but
What's that?
I think this year he did walk a lot. He got them. He got them way up. He walked 13.5% of his plate appearances this year. But in the past, he hasn't walked at a crazy number, like pretty consistent 10%.
But he's a lefty center fielder that we'd be getting for this year and next year, and makes $5 million this year and gonna be whatever a little bit more next year because it's arbitration
Let's say
3.
it's a good year, and that becomes 8 million next year, whatever the number is.
I mean, you're getting lefty Bader
Mm-hmm.
or Kiermaier. I kind of like Kiermaier more
I
than Trent
think
Grisham.
I think I like Kiermaier more. You definitely are requiring him to do the role we have in mind for Kiermaier, right? Start the year in center when Dominguez gets
Yeah,
back. We are more than comfortable with this guy as a fourth outfielder, pinch runner type. But he's
but
going to
he's
be fairly significantly cheaper than what we think
than
Kiermaier's.
Kiermaier.
Kiermaier seems like getting 2 years guaranteed, which is what Grisham's scheduled to get, probably 10 years each. Is like a seems to be the consensus
Yeah,
projection
he
for him.
he he he's like yeah, this fits. This is I mean, he plays every day, so that's nice. He played 152 and then 153, and he's young, and he is half the cost of Kiermaier, and you have him platoon. I don't know, but he's not going to thrill you, and he's not like I don't think the Yankees need him. I don't know if the Yankees are. I don't. So who's
Who's
asking?
pushing for him to be?
Yeah. Are the Yankees saying, and we want Grisham? Or because I don't even think he has a nice hard hit rate, which is all the Yankees fucking care about. Or the Padres saying, and we want you to take Trent Grisham.
It's interesting because the Padres obviously need to relieve some money. That's the whole reason they're even doing a Soto trade. So we've been talking about our original idea where we took Cronenworth's money was to find guys they might want you to eat. Grisham, I guess for what the pot $5 more million is substantial, but it's not a crazy number that like feels like the guy they should be pushing on us. That's just another outfielder they have to fill after. So I really don't have like a guess who's asking for it because the Yankees, I'd get it if they were asking for it because they kind of like doing two things at once. And if they're going to give up these prospects and all of these pieces, like, yes, fill a second hole too, but and he's the cheaper version of what we think Kiermaier will be. I have no idea. Do you have like a lean on who's
Well, I don't know the Yankees' brains as like they went out and they got Bader and they
as they said they're gonna like be different.
I
So maybe
mean if they're saying it's similar returns as Kiermaier, but half the price for 2 years, then maybe the Yankees are asking for him.
yeah,
I don't know,
they're at least
but
comfortable with it, I guess. He and Kiermaier's baselines are the same, I guess.
yeah.
I,
So if it ends up being Clark, Thorpe, Burrito
mhm.
for Soto and Grisham, do you like that? Are you
Yeah,
okay with that?
yeah, I'd be
Yeah,
fine with that. I'd
I'm
be great
fine.
with that.
Yeah, that excites me. Okay, what if it's King, Thorpe, and Brito and Vasquez?
I would no, look, I'd ultimately do it, but that will be harder to swallow on both ends there. Just depth.
Just depth wise, you're just kind of like
Yeah.
ruined your. You'd have to
I think
go
the
get
Yankees
some
are gonna go
triple A
get another
pitching.
starter, but they also like now need to add like a
Yeah,
inning
yeah,
your type guy. Walker's out there. People like just tweeting Walker's name. I do
they
enjoy
probably do something
doing
like
there.
that. Yeah. All right. So that was, I guess, there's probably other ways we can go, but just like if this is face value rumors, how we feel about it, I think the general consensus is like it makes sense as a starting point for the Padres to ask for that. Um, it also makes sense for the Yankees to be like, we can't give you like four pitchers
Every
and our best, like a guy from our starting rotation and our best starting prospect. They're not going to be like, yeah, sure, right away. They're going to play their hand and be like,
you have
no,
to negotiate.
yeah,
It gets yeah, the Padres I don't think have asked for anybody other than like we had initial reports saying they asked for Dominguez and all that because you have to ask. But since the talks became real and names started being leaked for real, they haven't asked for any person that's untouchable or I'm not comfortable being in the trade. Obviously, if you trade all of those guys, yes, that's not worth 1 year of Soto. But the names we're talking about are all names I'm comfortable going in that move.
I agree.
And that
Um,
I suppose one part of the reporting this is somewhat different. I'm just surprised, not because of the quality I think the player is, but I'm just surprised Pereira is not part of the conversation at all. You'd think just doing business wise, like not as a guy that has value, but just oh well, if we're taking two of your outfielders, take this one, this guy who can literally play. But so I'm just surprised he's not part of it as far as just oh really, just not in the conversation. Not as a guy that I think has
yeah, I
value.
don't know. Yeah, I don't know if
If the Yankees are acquiring both of those guys, they literally have no use for
because
him.
he has to go on your 40 man if you trade for him, right?
Yeah, he's a 40-man guy.
So I don't know if a team wants to do that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I I'm fine with it. I mean, Soto is such a game changer. I find it odd that there's this sentiment of people saying like you don't give that up for a rental. Like it's not that much. You're
It's
not
not a very
talking about and like Soto's a pretty good rental. And yeah, it doesn't mean you're going to land him in free agency, but you get to at least try to offer extensions to him and negotiate. And it's a Boris agent, so he's not going to do that. He also gets to feel what it's like in New York City. And Zach Britton did that for a little bit and then went to free agency. He was like, I'm not going anywhere else. This was the best place I've ever played. And Mookie went to the Dodgers and then he signed an extension and he's not a Boris guy, but that was also 2020 and pandemic. Like, he was like, all right, let me just lock this up. But
yeah. I
it's
did. I mean,
easy. I think it's easier to sign a guy if he knows a little more about you because you don't need to like sell them.
Yeah.
So it's
I,
like, hey, you want to renew the lease? You're used to the car. You like the way it drives, right? Like it's gets you where you're going.
I did a video on this week. I think there's people liking and commenting on that on Instagram, where like
Nice.
people are like dismissing. There's a lot of people on Twitter that are just like dismissing straight up the idea of trading for 1 year of Soto. Like only 1 year is a bad thing because like everything you said, you get your chance for a year to pitch him on the team. You get if in a year you want to sign him as a free agent, you're not going to have to give up the draft pick anymore. That's a tiny thing, but it's something. If he leaves, you get that draft pick. Again, a tiny thing, but you get that. If he comes here, he and Judge can't stand each other. Worst case scenario, he hates the Yankees. He hates living in New York. Whatever the reason is that he just doesn't want to be here. That's really good to know now and not after you've given him $500 million and he's in year one of a 10-year deal, like minimum. So there's plenty. Obviously, it doesn't mean you give up every asset in the world or any of the guys that it would like really hurt. Like obviously Dominguez untouchable. Jones would be a whole conversation, but as like those are like our tippy top prospects. It's really just those two that it would be like a really tough conversation. But those guys aren't even on the table. It doesn't take that much. Guys trading for guys that are 1 year value. The Mookie trade we've talked about, the Lindor trade after that one. Like it's never as crazy as you think on paper.
I have a question that's probably we shouldn't even get into. So we'll do it quick. Let's not be long on this one.
Won't be long.
If they trade for Soto, where does he bat?
Hmm.
I don't think Judge is leaving the 2 hole.
I'd love to have the longest version of this conversation possible in a week.
Yeah, just quickly, I don't see Rizzo leaving the 1 hole, but I see them wanting to put Soto behind Judge or Judge behind
You
Soto. Like, does Judge go to
you need
3?
both of them in the top 3. It's probably leadoff guy, Judge, Soto. They probably still are sticking Stanton between the lefties, and then Rizzo 5.
5? Interesting.
Rizzo,
Soto's never let off. He bats.
Rizzo and Soto are the kind of lefties you like can bat back to back. They've not had extreme stints there, but
Interesting.
I am so excited to get to an area where we can have that, and then when we start needing to gamble on the Yankees, we can take that into account on the draft sports book.
Oh yes. So now round 3 of the show is going speculation, conspiracy kid on you, and it's brought to you by DraftKings. The NBA is going on, and in the NBA the game can change in an instant, but no matter how the action unfolds, DraftKings Sportsbook has your back. This week new customers score 150 instantly in bonus bets just for betting $5 on basketball. Win or lose, you get an instant dub. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code Yanks. New customers can get 150 instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5 on basketball, only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code Yanks. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In West Virginia, visit www.1800gambler.net. Please play responsibly. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, I think, KS, must be 21 or older in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsibility for gambling resources. Eligibility to deposit restrictions apply. See bonus bets expire 168 hours after insurance. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms. Thanks, DraftKings.
Thanks, DraftKings. Part 3.
Well,
some sleuthing.
The Yankees don't use sources that much. Usually Curry, Sherman.
Kind of like, the interesting part in all this, because in digging into some Padres Twitter stuff, the takeaway from them has been, we like never leak stuff. So, but these are two teams that don't typically play the media this hard.
Yes. Okay. Good to know it on the Padres, because, that's kind of my question here is like, all right, Rosenthal he gets scoops. I don't know if he's always on the Yankees, but Ken's a professional. He knows stuff. Not familiar with Dennis Lin. Cuddy, I don't have him attached. He's a Yankees beat reporter, so he must know people. Heyman is Boris. And Andy Martino, he's on the scoop sometimes with the Yankees, but I don't know who his guy is.
I think he's like talks directly to Cashman, but no idea.
So a lot of these are Yankees, but it's also in the interest of both sides to go use whatever reporters will chat, I guess.
Yeah.
Because it's very interesting. Okay. If the fact that all these people were like, yep, this, like, okay, that means that talks did happen and they did stop. And now it's one or two things. The Yankees said, go shop around and get back to us because you're off the mark. And the Padres said, hey, we got 9 other teams interested. We're going to go shop around. But leaking all these players' names is interesting because it's setting the price for other teams in a way. And if that's what they want, so say these leaks are coming from the Padres side and saying this is what we're asking for, no one can really, that's in the market for Soto, can really match that much quadruple A and MLB pitching.
Guys who there's contribute in MLB.
I was reading, on Reddit on the baseball forum, and Blue Jays fan, I wish I had a name in front of me. He was like, if that's what they're asking for from the Yankees, like, what do they want from us? We can't match that.
The Jays don't have, even if you're giving them like Manoah in the, like he's interesting as a throw-in if you're the Padres, but he doesn't have value anymore. Like,
yeah.
He's and a throw-in they're interested in and they would take as part of that, but
and they have one starting pitcher in like the top in their ranked in their top 10 organizationally.
I think the Yankees, if we're playing the detective game, I think the Yankees are probably the main leakers here because all the reports have been about how much the Padres are asking for. Isn't this ridiculous? And I think the Yankees know they're kind of the only team that checks like every box San Diego needs to check for a team acquiring Juan Soto, which is a team looking to contend next year, which we think is the Yankees, because you're not acquiring 1 year Soto to not try to win next year. A team that can't afford 30-something million that the Yankees can do. Ideally, this hasn't been explicitly reported. I imagine they would prefer trading him to the AL than the NL if they're trying to be decent next year themselves.
Yeah.
Like the
Giants, the Cubs, they kind of have this, but I don't think they're going to send Soto to the Giants.
Definitely, yeah, Giants or Dodgers, I guess, but definitely not those two. The Cubs, people actually get involved, and they really haven't, as far as reports say. The Yankees, I think, are calling their bluff on we're the only team that checks all of these boxes for you.
Yeah, and it's not like these are the final offers at all. It's just kind of like
how it goes.
Yeah, but this is where we're starting. When was Brito last a prospect?
I guess before this season, right?
And has he ever topped any prospect lists?
Let me do a quick look. I know he was. I don't think he was ever he's ever like top.
Wait, Johnny Brito's Yankees is top 10 prospects, number 10.
Okay, is that right?
Well, No, not right now because he's not a prospect anymore.
I was gonna say I think he has to have exceeded.
All right. Oh, this is Pinstripe Alley's top 10, so not like an official.
Not one of like. I'm sure they're doing fine work there, but it's not one of like the national websites.
Yeah. Because what I'm trying to get at is if you look at some of the players in this name, King. I don't know. He had to be a top prospect at some point. Also, has played, and is like a commodity. Clark Schmidt was a top prospect in the Yankees organization. Now he is graduated to MLB. Brito has pitched in the Major League Baseball and gotten results. And I'm not saying he's a stud, but if you're just looking for arms to fill out and take chances on, like that counts. But then if you look at the other guys, if you if you, let me pull this up. If you look at Randy Vasquez, he's currently the 10th ranked 10th in the organization, according to the Fangraph chart I'm looking at right now.
MLB.com, I'm looking at 14 for Randy.
Okay, yeah. So I don't know what this is. Fangraphs, they have him
Yeah,
10.
that all that's the same range.
Drew Thorpe, they have 5.
Mm-hmm.
MLB.com.
MLB.com.
So you're looking at an MLB player and then an MLB pitcher and then a top 10 from your org prospect or 2 top 10.
Yeah,
if you want
top 5 and a top 10.
Yeah. Like the Blue Jays, and they're just one team. They can't match that. Their second best pitching prospect, and their number 1 pitching prospect is 18th overall on Fangraph, so I don't think they want to trade him.
Yeah, that's
and then
it's trading for 1 year of Soto.
Yeah, so then the next is 21st, and he's not even like in the overall power rankings. And if you go around the leagues of like who fits the bill with all the other parameters, like I don't know. So maybe the Yankees are saying, oh, like both sides are saying, hey, why don't you go figure out the rest of the market and figure this out? My thoughts are, this hasn't swayed me negatively. If anything, I am more positive in reaction to this, if saying it seems like they're talking. Seems like they're talking about the right-ish package. They just need to fine-tune it a bunch and
find the common.
And I think I don't think the Padres are going to go find better a major league pitcher plus 2 minor league pitchers that are like ready to help you out in the next year.
Yeah, they want guys
anywhere else.
They want a top prospect who might be able to help in the next year. They want, I guess, at least 2 guys that you can pencil into the opening day rotation, or at least overall opening day roster right now. Nobody else can do that.
Yeah. So I'm kind of like thinking, okay, this might, they go, hey, why don't you guys go test the market and we'll meet up in Nashville and see where we are at there.
That's kind of how I took the people using the word like talks have stalled or whatever. I think it got to a point Friday night, yesterday, whatever day, where they're like, well, let's just pause this and we'll be in person in 2 days. I don't think they've actually fully stopped.
Yeah.
Like quite the way it's been reported.
And the Yankees have never prospect hugged a starting pitcher.
Can't remember the last one.
People are going to want to say Chance Adams, but it was never, I think no other team.
I think everybody was just on to what the Yankees were trying to sell there.
Maybe they hugged Davey, but I think they also he was broke. There's a lot of hype. They shopped Justice before finding out, or traded Justice. I can't really think of anyone that got the Andujar, the Clinton Frazier treatment.
Yeah, as a pitcher,
as a starting.
Overall, I feel like it hasn't necessarily been there's been a lot of position players, but I got into some honestly just good conversations on Twitter yesterday. Rare. People just trying to have the Yankees been the most egregious prospect huggers, and I don't think they have been. Obviously, you can point to Clint Andujar, what they've done.
Those are
one guy you're doing it to.
Volpe for Luis Castillo.
Yeah,
we'll see. That would have been really nice to have him. But we'll see.
Volpe's a guy that we know they actually believe in. Other guys we've been trying to figure out how to believe in them, and that we know
the Clint Andujar prospect hugging is the worst of it.
Yeah, that was. I mean, it's literally still a meme that is on Twitter, which maybe we're heading there with Peraza Pereira. Which I'm glad they haven't been thrown around too much in this trade, but if whatever the next move is, if after this they try to go get Dylan Cease, and the rumor we keep hearing is they're trying to shove Peraza Pereira on them, and maybe the White Sox like them. I don't know. But it's definitely a world I can see happening where they're trying to trade anybody for those 2.
It's funny. That's interesting.
Too, but
all right. I mean, so that's kind of I
think so.
I kind of am positive on this. You know, the headline trade talks are at a standstill or stalemate or whatever the hell they used. Makes sense to me. So I don't know if I'm just being positive to be positive.
I'm interested to see how we feel like 24 hours from now. Winter meetings have started going. Someone signs, and if it
I've been like
doesn't happen, or
not a Twitter
I'm
person
scared.
anymore. And I'm getting scared that uh I don't like check Twitter anymore because I need to start now because I like being in the frenzy of all this stuff.
This is one of the kind of fun times.
Well, these are the fun times.
Yeah.
It used to be fun all the time. Stinks now. Other Yankees moves, real quick, as we end the show. They um they acquired or they claimed Oscar Gonzalez
Oh
off
yeah.
waivers from the Guardians, which was a very interesting move because I didn't realize he had fallen that far out of favor with the Guardians because he was like, he got called up in 2022 and had a really good second half of the year. They had the SpongeBob SquarePants when he was
Also the
facing the
playoffs.
Yankees in that divisional series. It felt like, oh, this is one of their threats. He didn't do much against them,
He had the
but
walk off.
yes, yes. But I think his
I
stats
think they did
overall,
hold him quiet besides that in the series. But he was huge in the wild card against Tampa. He had the walk off homer there.
yeah,
As far as
he
waivers,
had a bad.
oh, he's very interesting. Doesn't move the needle as far as like expectations for him or the Yankees, but he's interesting. It's technically been more good than bad in the big leagues the last 2 years.
I mean,
But as bad as it's ever as it's a crazy
someone
line that he put out this year.
someone in the group chat said like he will be DHing
He's
in
batting
some
fourth
random
someday.
July game. It's like, yeah, he's got two options left. He's gonna.
Yeah,
I don't know that
be up
Fangraphs
and
haven't
down.
projected on the
So
bench, but like he could be bounced. Jabari Blash
I think Blash
situation. But that was kind of interesting. I didn't know he had fallen out.
expendable. I guess he's interesting, so they'll try to keep him around. I guess they've
Yeah.
got. I think they DFA before him. Florial's there.
The other news, yeah, Florio replacement. The other news is Luis Severino stays in New York, signs a 1-year deal with the Mets. Happy for Sevy, 1 year, 13 mil.
13.
Which is like, how much did Kluber get for his 1 year with the Yankees?
He got 10 that year.
He's coming
Little,
off injury.
he
So
was
that's just
coming
natural
off injury.
inflation. Let's just
Little
say
natural
I think that's kind of the same deal, which is good for Severino. Such a Mets move. And I mean that as an insult, but I love Severino. But like Mets, go get your own guys.
Yeah, I
Like Betances,
I'm really happy for
like how many like of these like awesome clubhouse Yankee guys, Todd Frazier for his 3 months met. It's like, is this just how you sign guys?
Gary for a weekend this year.
Social team, don't clip this. I'm just fucking around. I don't want people mad at me as if I'm being so serious.
I'm happy for Sev. He's a guy who likes New York. And if you're the Mets, the stuff didn't wane. He just like stopped being effective. He's a tweak away, I think. And obviously,
I'm happy because it's one channel down on my remote. If Sevy's starting, I can put it as my flip channel. I can watch it very easily. So I'm happy for him. I hope he crushes it. And then the other Sonny Gray went to the Cardinals, 3 years, 25 mil apiece. He's the next Yankee. Monty's still available. And Brad Osmus is the bench coach.
Yes, and you had a lot of opinions on that.
Tons. Someone said, oh, he can work with Wells because he's a catcher. And I thought, all right, cool. Tony Pena used to work with catchers. Or not, no. Pena? He worked for the infield.
More catch guys.
Yeah. Oh, that's something.
I think that's it.
That's it. Yeah. Enjoy winter meetings, beeps. Enjoy the frenzy of this. It will happen quick, I think.
Yeah.
I
think we're gonna get at least one more Talkin Yanks in the next 48 hours.
And if the Toronto shit's true, they're saying Toronto's gonna wait to see if they land Ohtani or not before Soto stuff. It's like
It seems like Soto's timeline.
The Padres,
they need to get it done pretty soon.
Padres aren't affected by that. It doesn't change the package you're sending.
Yeah. If the Blue Jays are willing to trade that for 1 year of Soto, they're willing to do that for 1 year of Soto and then still sign. But that
Yeah.
affects their books so much for the 1 year. If you're a team doing the whatever the Otani signing ends up being, I don't think
Yeah.
they should be affected. I don't think they're getting either, but I'm Blue Jays not believer in them signing somebody until they do it.
If Otani goes to someone other than the Dodgers, I will go, ooh. If Otani goes to the Dodgers, I'll just go, all right. Like it's gonna be the talking baseball fans will be mad at me because it'll be like, yeah, like okay, Otani goes to the Dodgers reaction. Yep.
Yeah, I haven't thought about what would get me like what my reaction to anything will be for Otani. I haven't put much thought into
I've just been
as the Yankees, no
saying
one involved.
I've been saying Otani's going to the Dodgers for 2 years now in talking baseball. Like it's
Yeah.
like a fact. So if he does, it's just gonna be like, yeah, he's there.
Felt like they were the front runner the whole time, huh?
All their offseason moves the last couple of years have been like, well, they're not going to do that because they're waiting for Otani.
Yeah, they like stayed under last year.
Yeah, the Dodgers.
Yeah.
So, all right, that's it. Talking Yanks. Thank you. If you guys watch on YouTube and you're still listening, if you want to subscribe to the channel, that helps us out a bunch. And since it hurts people's little hearts to subscribe to a Yankees channel when they're not Yankees fans, subscriber to listener is like crazy low on this channel. It's so fucking annoying. And
No
weird.
more of
But I
you.
appreciate it. I appreciate that you tune in. Honestly, that metric matters way more than subscribing. But subscribe. Come on, help us out. Love you guys.
Everybody subscribe to. Just subscribe.
Hopefully we get some impromptu episodes and some fun stuff coming. Yamasoto. Tell him, Grams.
Go Yankees.
Yamasoto's price tag going scary high.
Yeah, that might be Tuesday's app if there's no Soto news.
There's gonna be.
I think there's gonna be some Yanks.